Demon Slayer What If Michikatsu and Yoriichi were in the current era of Hashira and dated the Kocho sisters. Part 3 Love almost ended and a mission gone wrong. Michikatsu woke up one day cuddling Kane and kisses her forehead and gets up and goes to his brother's room and opens the door to see his brother Yoriichi cuddling Shinbu, and Michikatsu wakes up Yoriichi and asks him to train with him, which Yoriichi agrees to do cause he's always happy to train with his brother. They grab wooden swords and stands opposite of each other and they get ready to fight, and as fast and as quick as they can they clash swords and go for a long and hard fight agents each other, with Michikatsu having an upper hand in this fight and is fighting with all of his strength as they stop to take a breath looking at each other. Yoriichi seems surprised that Michikatsu is having an upper hand on him and is wondering why isn't winning when he usually is. Yoriichi wonders why, but Michikatsu lunges at Yoriichi and begins to start fighting again. Yoriichi finds an opening and takes the opportunity and uses his sun breathing on Michikatsu, sees it and somehow manages to use Yoriichi's sun breathing fourth form Burning Bones, Summer Sun, and deflects Yoriichi's attack. Yoriichi stands in shock and wonders how Michikatsu was able to use sun breathing. Michikatsu also stands in shock that he used his brother's sun breathing form and remembers the time his brother taught him the sun breathing form, but he couldn't do it. Now he finds himself doing one form of sun breathing. Yoriichi asks his brother how he used sun breathing and thought that Michikatsu could only use moon breathing, but Michikatsu says he doesn't know how he saw that he was about to lose and then thought of the technique and just used it and hoped that it would work. Yoriichi smiles and hugs his brother and says that he is happy that his brother can use sun breathing now and that he hopes that his brother can use it in combat and use it to be safe whenever he is on a mission. Michikatsu laughs and thanks Yoriichi. They continue to practice and it goes back and forth between win from win agents Yoriichi and Michikatsu. They ended with a tie and went back inside to wash up and change. When Michikatsu walks back in his room, Kane is there laying in bed and looks at him. Kane asks why he left her. Michikatsu said he wanted to go train and spar with his brother and that he is going to take a shower. Kane says when he's done climb back in bed with her and cuddle her. He smiles and says he will. Michikatsu takes a shower and changes and gets back in bed with Kane. Michikatsu looks at her and smile. Kane kisses him and gets on top of him. Michikatsu blushes and asks why she is on top of him. Kane says she just wants to lay on his chest and hold him. Michikatsu smiles and holds her by her hips and Kane blushes. While Michikatsu and Kane are cuddling in bed, the crow says that there is a Hashira meeting. They stop cuddling and get ready before they leave. Michikatsu goes to Yoriichi's room and says hurry, there is a Hashira meeting that they have to go to. Yoriichi gets ready and leaves with Michikatsu and Kane. At the meeting the master says that there have been demon slayers that have gone missing in a village and he's sending one Hashira to the mission site to see what demon it is. The master points to Michikatsu and asks him to get ready and to leave as soon as possible to get to the mission site and dispose of the demon that has made the demon slayers go missing. Michikatsu agrees to go on the mission and bows. The master dismisses the Hashiras and lets them leave. On the way back to the butterfly mansion, Kane holds Michikatsu's arm for dear life and doesn't want him to go. He reassures her that he will be fine and will come back home safe to her and they can cuddle for the rest of the day. She says yay and kisses his cheek. Michikatsu smiles and Kane packs him food. Michikatsu thanks her and they keys and Michikatsu leaves for his mission. As the crow guides him he thinks of what kind of demon it could be. When he gets there it's nightfall and looks for the demon. He senses the demon and follows is and runs into Muzan. He draws his sword ready to battle him. Michikatsu rushes at him and Muzan sends limbs at him fast. Michikatsu sees his life flash before his eyes and uses sun breathing ninth from Dragon Sun Halo Head Dance, but Michikatsu gets a big gash across his chest and is bleeding bad. The crow quickly goes to the master and tells him that Michikatsu has run into Muzan. The master is in shock and quickly sends the crow back to watch over Michikatsu. Muzan's flesh is burning from the sun-breathing form. Michikatsu can barely feel his body but sees Muzan is focused on that his body isn't regenerating. Michikatsu quickly goes to Muzan and uses sun-breathing flame dance and cuts Muzan on his chest and stomach. Michikatsu sees that he is beginning to regenerate quicker in the blink of an eye and decides to run away but gets cut on the leg and arm from Muzan and gets a massive gash on his back as he leaves. Michikatsu can barely breath at this point and quickly leaves to go to the butterfly mansion. Michikatsu limps back to the butterfly mansion and opens the door and falls to the floor and coughs blood and passes out. Kane sees Michikatsu beat up and bleeding bad and screams in fear that he's dead. She quickly takes him to the medical room and does surgery on him and bandages him up. Shinobu and Yoriichi seeing how bad Michikatsu is, Yoriichi gets mad in anger and goes outside and starts beating a tree till the wooden sword he has breaks and starts punching the tree till Shinobu goes to him and tells him to stop and she holds him and Yoriichi starts crying and holds Shinobu tight. Kane bandages him up and she holds his hand and cries fearing that Michikatsu is not going to make it and she goes in depression. The master calls for an emergency Hashira meeting where Yorichi goes, but Kane stays by Michikatsu's side and holds his hand. When all the Hashira get there, the master quickly gets started and says that Michikatsu went up and met Muzan face to face and engaged in combat with him, where Michikatsu almost died but seemed to side Sun Breathing to stay alive. But I don't know if Michikatsu is still alive or not, but Muzan was in fear from Sun Breathing. The master said all the Hashiras are in shock. And some are crying from hearing how bad in shape Michikatsu is. Rengoku and Sanemi and Yorichi are mad that Michikatsu engaged in combat with Muzan and that they want revenge for Michikatsu being injured. All the Hashira want to see if Michikatsu is okay and want to know where he is. Yorichi speaks up and says he's at the Butterfly Mansion. Kane did medical acre on him. She was not at the meeting cause she didn't want to leave his side. The Hashiras ask if they can leave so they can go see Michikatsu. The master agrees and says that he will also join and go see how Michikatsu is. The Hashiras quickly get up and rush to the Butterfly Mansion and go to the medical room, and they see Kane holding Michikatsu's hand and kissing his hand and saying that she hopes that he's okay and that she loves him. Mitsuri runs to Kane and Michikatsu and start crying that Michikatsu is dead. Kane is shocked and says that Michikatsu is just resting and that he will hopefully be fine. All the Hashira gather around Michikatsu and sit and tell Kane what happened to Michikatsu. Kane has a sad look and cries. Tengen holds her but ruins it by asking Kane to be his fourth wife. Kane backs away and says no, but that she wants to marry Michikatsu. Michikatsu slowly opens his eyes and says I love you too. Kane and Tengen fuck off. Kane runs to Michikatsu and hugs him. Michikatsu screams in pain. Kane apologizes and Mitsuri screams and thinks Michikatsu is a ghost. Sanemi gets mad of hearing Kane say that she wants to marry Michikatsu since he had a crush on her and gets mad. Michikatsu apologizes for scaring everyone and for not being safe and not knowing that it was Muzan that he was going up agents. Kane shushes him and tells him to save his strength, so he hushes and kisses Kane's hand and falls back asleep. The Hashira decide to leave and let Michikatsu rest so he can gain his strength back so he can rest. When the Hashira leave, Kane climbs into bed next to Michikatsu and falls asleep with him. Michikatsu spends 5 days in the medical room before he can finally go back to his room, but he still must lay down. Kane lays on top of Michikatsu and cuddles him gently not to hurt him. This is the end of part 3 and part 4 coming soon. Demon Slayer. What if Michikatsu and Yorichi were in the current era of Hashira and dated the Kocho sister? Part 4. A new Hashira and Kane pregnant.